I'm proud to introduce someone who's organised that Jewish bloc. His name is Barnaby Rain. He's a brilliant activist. He's a student. Give him a big round of applause. Barnaby Rain!
You know, we stand today outside the BBC. The BBC talks about a conflict in Gaza. A conflict. That is grotesque. It is not a conflict when the world's fourth largest military power blockades, besieges and imprisons a stateless people who have no army of their own. Is that a conflict? Is it a conflict? When Israel bombs families in their homes and sick patients in their hospital beds, is that a conflict? When people flee for their lives to United Nations shelters and then Israel attacks the United Nations shelters, is that a conflict? No, BBC, this is not a conflict. This is a massacre. I am 19 years old. What future awaits the 19-year-olds of Gaza? Their diets are stunted because the Israeli siege blocks access to food. There are hardly any jobs because Israel has cut Gaza off from the rest of the world. And just a few days ago, Israel bombed a university. Inaction in the face of this scale of injustice is criminal. So we've got to send a message to our own government today: stop arming Israel. And while we're at it, let's send a message to governments all over the world. If you call yourselves an international community, give that phrase some meaning. Let's put sanctions on Israel until this barbarism ends. I just want to leave you with one important point. In the early 20th century, people all over the world from all backgrounds who stood with the oppressed might have declared, I too am a Jew. When apartheid besmirched the earth, people might have said, I too am a black South African. Well, today, people from all backgrounds, from all walks of life, all over the world, come together and say in our thousands and in our millions, we are all Palestinian.
Freedom! That's the battle cry of Gaza! It's not about food and medicines! It's not about tunnels! It's about occupation for 66 years and the brutal siege for 8 years. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more.
Our next speaker is Glyn Secker from Jews for Justice for Palestinians.
Thank you. The world has finally woken up to the Ben-Gurion's evil vision, who a century ago pronounced that not one village, not one Palestinian tribe would exist. In 1948, Plan Dalet orchestrated a wave of massacres. Not just Deir Yassin, but Darwin, Nas al-Din, Mad al-Kuna, Albina, Dar al-Asad, Nafa, Safsaf, Jish, Sasa, Saleh, Ilabun, Hula, Balad Sake, Kafar Qasim, Kibya, Samoa, Kafai, Kana, Wada, Tantua, all villages that were erased, which were massacred. A tsunami of terror to create the Nakba. And the lineage runs on through Shabra and Shatila and Jenin and Cast Lead and Pillars of Defence and Protective Edge and Shaja'ah and Rafah. The effect inside the oppressors invokes Germany in the 1930s. The Peace Now movement is no more. In Israel's dark descent emerge gangs, Bietar hooligans, the Jewish Defence League, neo-fascist thugs who beat up Palestinians, threaten their employers, force Jews to shout death to Arabs. Overwhelmed. Today one image burns deep in my mind. That of a father carrying his child's remains in a polythene bag. A journey home, grotesque, literally, from the butchers of hell. As a Jew, I will not ever be associated with these monsters. Never, never in my name. Never in my life. Never in my children's life. But I have another message. Beware the peace processes. Today's massacres have their roots in the seductive negotiations of the Oslo Accords in '93, which stole Palestinian land, fragmented their territories, multiplied checkpoints and violent settlers, drove farmers from their land to become cheap labour for lawless free trade zones, imposed a ruthless bankers' free market economy, set up the PA to police it, delayed the settlement for 5 years when Israel moved the goalposts to make it 10. Palestinians experienced degradation and humiliation. Hamas won the next elections. The PA with the US and Israel wrested back control in the West Bank, but Hamas hung on in Gaza. And then Israel imposed the blockade. As one general said, a place where they put Palestinians on a diet. Another boasted, no Gaza dies of old age. A slow, silent massacre, invisible to the world's media. The blockade is the continuation of Oslo, and Protective Edge its progeny, its monster offspring. But imagine the Middle East upside down. Imagine Israel in the circumstances of Gaza, blockaded, no diplomatic solution. Who in the world would criticize Israel if it tried to fight out from that situation? If all Jews are tarred with Netanyahu's stinking brush, the doors to anti-Semitism are opened. The lie that Arabs seek another Holocaust gains currency. The self-fulfilling prophecy is set in motion to justify the program of land grabs. Okay, one more.
You are so good.
Thank God there are hundreds of thousands of Jews who refuse to identify with Israel's policy. Proud to demolish the criticizing Israel is anti-Semitic. After 66 years, the world has woken up to the brutality, to the lies. It's in our face, it's gone viral. Protective Edge is Israel's Sharpeville, when white South Africa massacred peaceful trade unionists, and the world woke up and instituted a boycott movement that led to the demise of white South Africa. We demand an arms embargo. We demand an end to the siege of Gaza. We demand justice for Palestinians.
Get the feeling that exists. I was out yesterday in my constituency collecting